Back in the 1960s, social work wasn't well understood. People often saw it as charity work, something anyone with a good heart could do, not a profession. So one challenge was getting others to recognize that school social workers were actually trained professionals. Another was introducing the idea of school social work to educators. It was a new concept at the time, so we had to build relationships with schools, help them see the value, and show how we could support students facing personal or family issues. That took time, but gradually it became part of the school ecosystem. A major step in the 1960s was a joint project by the Singapore Children's Society and the Singapore Association of Professional Social Workers, working with the University of Singapore. They commissioned a survey across 40 schools, which led to the report on the School Social Work Project in 1965. Mrs. Nalili Schooling, who led the project, wrote that the report generated strong interest. Even the Ministry of Education was encouraging. While they weren't ready to set up a formal school social work service then, they urged the association to continue building the case. That really helped school social work start to take root. I think what today's school social workers can take away from those early years is the deep commitment to student well-being. Back then, we were focused on helping children cope with school and family pressures, using social work not just to fix problems, but their emergence also.
It was a mix of timing, passion, and the trust of the Pro Tem Committee. I had just returned from a semester at Washington University, drawn there by their focus on school social work. That, along with my 6 years of practice at Shine, cemented my commitment to the field. What truly inspired me was seeing how places like Hong Kong were advocating for one school social worker per school. I wanted to work towards that in Singapore, while also building a strong foundation of our practice through training, peer support, and professional standards. My vision was to strengthen our identity and ensure that every student could one day benefit from dedicated social work support. And that's where the Singapore Association of Social Workers came in. They provided a platform for the Pro Tem to transit to the School Social Work Chapter. The School Social Work Chapter developed the first set of practice standards for school social practice in Singapore. It laid a strong foundation for the field. Co-organizing the first National School Social Work Conference with the National Council of Social Services was also a proud moment. It gave visibility to the work. We engaged early with Ministry of Education and school counsellors when school counselling was introduced, helping to clarify roles and foster collaboration.
We were co-chairs from 2018 to 2024.
Very long, right?
Yeah. And I think one of the key challenges that we faced was the question of whether school social work had a clear place in Singapore's changing education and social service landscape, especially as the landscape evolved with more FTSEs and MOE's introduction of the student welfare officers.
Yes, that's right. And we kept that momentum going, isn't it? By staying engaged with MOE, hosting networking sessions, and really focusing on the identity and the needs of the school social workers on the ground.
Yeah. Remember we had the School Social Work Virtual Sharing Series?
Yes.
Yeah. And that helped us to broaden our definition of practice. As it was conducted during COVID, it created a real space for us to connect and learn through tough times. And that helped us to also then grow our visibility. And we welcome a lot more friends of the chapter.
Very much more.
And created a very much more inclusive and connected community.
We also took a step back to actually review our chapter objectives, right?
Yes.
And we created a 3 to 5 year strategic plan. That framework still guides the chapter work today.
This term, one of our key hopes is to grow the chapter, not just in size, but also in the diversity of experience.
We want to bring together social workers who may not only be working in schools, but also with students in the different settings, in youth, family, and community settings.
Exactly, Jenna. Students don't just live within the four walls of their school, so the challenges also cut across different aspects of their life, such as mental health issues, family issues, and the pressures that our society places on them.
And to add on to what Yi and you have mentioned, bring in the different voices will help us to think more holistically on how to support the students.
I think one of the most important things that we want to do now is to build up the competencies of our sector in understanding topics such as the ever-changing youth trends, mental wellness, youth at risk behaviour, and also the impact of digitalization on our students.
And all of these are becoming more relevant, and we really need to stay ahead. School social work today look very different from what it was 20 years ago, and maybe even 10 years ago. So part of the chapter's vision is to keep raising the professionalism of our practice with relevant skills, framework, and even peer learning that are unique to supporting students.
At the same time, we want to grow the chapter into a strong network, a space where school social workers can come together, they can learn, they can innovate, and they can also find support.
Because we are all connected and learning together, we are not just sustaining the work. In fact, we are shaping the future of school social work, and that's how we can truly make an impact for the next generation.
Our pioneers laid a strong foundation, and each generation of school social workers has built on that. The work hasn't always been easy. There were policy and practice challenges along the way. But the future is bright. You stand on the shoulders of those before you, and in turn, you will lift up those who come after. Keep going. You are the wind beneath each other's wings.
A standout moment for me was bringing school social workers and counsellors together. It showed how powerful systems-level work can be, building partnerships that go beyond the individual to create lasting impact in schools through relationships and through collaborations.
We hope that all this effort will help to raise the bar for everyone in the field. Be part of this growing community that believes in what school social work can do.